I've got a few chores that need to be done outside the house, so I'm trying to find a affordable pressure washer. And I decided, why not? Let's test the cheapest one we can find. And I think we just scrolled past one that was about 45 bucks. We'll go and grab that one and we'll do a test, see how it works. It's got a few nice features, especially the ability to connect to a garden hose, to connect that little spray bottle, to get the different angles. And what I think is probably going to make it very portable is the ability to pop it into a bucket with this little filtration system, and the ability to have water very portable anywhere you really need it. Now these cordless pressure washers, they're a lot newer than say the ones that connect directly to the hose and use gas compressor. So I wanted to see if these battery operated cordless ones provide a little bit more benefit. And I browsed a couple, and there's one that I saw that had a fair bit of functions, just under $50. Thinking back about it, I probably should have got the one that was 55 with the 2 batteries. This one comes with the 1 battery pack. But we'll do a quick little unboxing here and we'll see what we've got. We've got our instruction manuals and a thank you letter for purchasing this. Looks like it comes with a, not really much of a case, but kind of like a tote bag to put everything in. 1 battery, 1 massive battery, 21 volt. We'll have to get this charged up before we do our test. Should be a charger in here somewhere. Got a charger. Got the pressure washer itself. It's plastic with a couple metal fittings. Feels pretty heavy. It's not as light as some of the other stuff I've got. Canister of some sorts, possibly for soap, mixing soap maybe. Nozzle extension. So this one's a little bit different than the other pressure washers where you usually put the attachment to get the angle of the spray. So we'll see how this works attaching to that. A few additional attachments. This little canister, and this is what I really want to test, the portability, attaches to this hose, which then attaches to the pressure washer. Now, one of the benefits of this is it's actually supposed to be portable. You can stick that hose in a bucket, you can stick it in a lake. And one of the things I was thinking about when I got this was looking at all those East Coast fires and wondering if somebody had some portable sprayer system, if they could have mitigated some of that damage. So not only is this going to be for doing some chores, but possibly it will become a backup emergency kit. We'll get this connected, charged up, and take it outside for a test. We'll see how it compares to straight hose out of the outdoor faucet, straight hose with a nozzle. I've got one of these Canadian Tire nozzles. It doesn't really do the angle, but it does multiple sprays. We'll see how this pressure compares to using the actual pressure washer. Does it give a more steady, more lengthy stream? That's the average pressure on the hose. We'll grab it and get a nice aim going. So it's a rubberized hose, so it does get a little bit more energy. If I can try to angle it, I can get it right up to that tree. It's about 4.5 to 5 feet from the actual trunk. And what I'll do is I'll turn it off and I'll put the other extension on next. Nozzle spray on the, that in focus, on the single. I can get that right onto the tree trunk. If I go higher at an angle, it's going a little bit past the stump, but not bad for the cheap nozzle. If I try to do any other variation, it's a little bit away. Doesn't quite make it to the tree trunk. Probably about the same as the hose by itself. I actually have to turn this off very quickly. All sorts of leaks and sprays on all the connectors. Battery's almost wet here. It does seem to do something to power it. We'll have to revisit these connections and see if we can get it to work without being a hazard. So in trying to figure out why this was spraying everywhere, it looks like there's a notch or a crack or a chip. It's fairly rounded, so it's probably not the design, but I'm not sure how the water's completely bypassing everything and going straight out this hole. Now we've got one more test, which is the bucket test, and hopefully the other attachment works. That attachment is this portion that goes into the gun, and this tube with this filter that goes into the bucket. Now it's got this weighted piece. I assume it's weighted, but it doesn't really seem to sink. It kind of sits halfway on the surface. I've got my attachment in there. I've got my battery dried out, and let's see if we get any luck. So at least that part works. That's the 15-degree angle. 25-degree angle. 40-degree angle. I might actually be reading this upside down. So we'll go back to what I assume was the 0 angle. Okay. Alright, can we hit that tree trunk from the bucket? It's not the best one. Oh man. We're actually a little bit shorter than where the regular garden hose is going. I imagine if we had better pressure, could work a little bit. Now the other thing I wanted to test on this is for pressure washing. How good is it? So I've got this really dirty concrete pad. Not bad. It is moving the dirt along, so I might be able to get this pad done, but I don't want to be filling up buckets of water. Yeah, it's definitely not doing a bad job on the concrete, but I've already used a fair bit of water from the bucket. So I brought it all back inside. I kind of went through the manual looking for any troubleshooting, looking for any list of things that should have come in. I can't find anything. Looking at all the other pieces, there is a lack of washers or seals. And this actually has a very interesting quick release design where it you pull back and it'll pop out and you just stick it in and it clicks in. But even looking on the inside of this, there's no washers or seals. And let's put this down for a minute. And taking this apart to the two pieces that it comes in, there's no washers or seals anywhere in here. And that spot where there's that little jet hole, it's fairly rounded on the inside, so I'm not sure if it's a safety design, a pressure design to release pressure, but no washers might explain why it just isn't connecting to the hose, but it also doesn't explain why this portion was spraying everywhere. I guess you do get what you pay for sometimes, and this cheap one really didn't do anything. We'll have to try to do an Amazon return and see if we can get a working version, or at least get the seals or some new nozzles or attachments. But we'll do that and possibly follow up. Might even just try for the $55 one. I was actually kind of impressed with the fact that it draws the water from the bucket. You know, in an emergency situation, that could come in quite useful. Or if you're, you got like remote property and you've got a couple buckets of water or containers of water, you can definitely stick that in there. Well, hopefully when I get this returned, I'll come back with a better video for you.